Welcome back to AU Family Channel, and thank you so much for being here. It truly means the world to have you as one of our loyal listeners. If our stories have ever touched your heart, we are so grateful that you keep coming back to spend this time with us. So find somewhere comfortable, take a slow, deep breath, and let us begin today's story, together.
When I was 15, I found out that everything I thought I knew about my dad was only half the story. It started with a shoebox in the back of the garage, and it ended with me understanding my father in a way I never had before. This is the story of the summer I learned the truth, and how it completely changed the way I saw the man who raised me. My dad was, by every measure, the most ordinary man in the world. He worked as an accountant. He wore the same brown jacket every fall. He fell asleep in his chair by 9 every night. My friends had dads who coached teams and told loud stories at barbecues. My dad was quiet, steady, a little boring, if I am being honest. And at 15, boring was the worst thing a parent could be. I was going through a phase that summer where I was embarrassed by him. Embarrassed by his old car, his careful budgets, the way he double-checked every door was locked at night. I wanted a dad who was exciting. I did not understand yet that the quietest people are often carrying the loudest stories. I was about to find out just how much I did not know. It was a rainy Saturday, and my mom had sent me to the garage to look for a box of old holiday decorations. I was digging through the shelves when my hand knocked over an old shoebox tucked way in the back, behind the paint cans. It fell, and the lid popped off, and a stack of photographs and papers scattered across the concrete floor. And I froze, because I did not recognize the young man in any of the pictures. He was maybe 20 years old. He had my dad's eyes, but everything else was different. He was standing in front of a burning building, wearing full firefighter gear, his face streaked with soot, a fire helmet under his arm. In another photo, he was carrying a child out of smoke. In another, he was receiving some kind of medal from a man in a suit. I stared at these pictures of a hero I had never met, and slowly, impossibly, I realized it was my dad. My hands were shaking as I gathered the papers. There were newspaper clippings, yellow and brittle with age. One headline read, "Local firefighter saves family of 4 from apartment blaze." There was a certificate of valor. There were letters from people thanking him for saving their lives. My quiet, boring accountant father had once run into burning buildings for a living, and in all my 15 years, he had never said a single word about it. I could not make sense of it. Why would he hide something like that? If my dad had been a hero, a real one, why did he spend his days behind a desk, adding up numbers? Why did he never tell a single story? I brought the box inside, and I found him in his chair, reading the newspaper, and I set it down on the table in front of him, and I watched his face change as he saw what I had found. He was quiet for a long time. He picked up one of the photos, the one of him carrying the child, and he looked at it like he was looking at a stranger. And then he said, in a voice softer than I had ever heard him use, "I wondered if you would ever find these. I did not know if I wanted you to or not. Sit down, son. I think it is time I told you the truth about your old man. He told me that for 12 years, before I was born, he had been a firefighter. And not just any firefighter. He was the one they sent in first. The one who volunteered for the calls nobody else wanted. He loved it, he said. He loved being the person who showed up on the worst day of someone's life and made it a little less terrible. It was the thing he was born to do. And then he told me why he stopped. There was a fire, he said, a big one, at an apartment complex late at night. He had gone in 3 times, pulling people out, and he was about to go in a 4th time for a little girl trapped on the top floor when the building started to collapse. His captain, his best friend, a man named Ray, grabbed him and pushed him back just as the ceiling came down. My dad made it out. Ray did not. Ray died saving my father's life. My dad's voice broke when he said Ray's name. He told me that Ray had a wife and a baby daughter, and that after the funeral, he could not put the uniform back on. Not because he was afraid, but because he could not stop thinking that Ray had traded his life for my father's, and my father owed it to him to actually live that life, to be there, to grow old, to have a family and see them grow up, something Ray would never get to do. So he hung up the uniform. He went back to school. He became an accountant because it was safe and steady, and it meant he would come home every single night. He met my mom, he had me, and he decided that the greatest way to honor the man who died for him was not to be a hero anymore. It was to be a father, to be present, to be boring and reliable and always, always there. I sat there in stunned silence. Every single thing I had been embarrassed about suddenly looked completely different. The way he checked the locks every night, the careful budgets that meant we never went without, the fact that he was always home, always in that chair, always available if I needed him. It was not boring. It was a promise he had made to a dead friend and kept every single day for over 20 years without ever asking for credit. I asked him why he never told me, and he said, because I did not want you to see me as a firefighter or a hero or anything from the past. I wanted you to see me as your dad. That is the only title I ever cared about being good at. The medals are in a box in the garage, but being your father, being here for you, that is the thing I am actually proud of. That is the thing that matters. Then he told me the part that I have never forgotten. He said, being brave is not always about running into a fire. Sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is walk away from the thing they love and choose the quiet, ordinary life and show up for it every single day for the rest of their life. Anybody can be a hero for one night. It takes real courage to be a good father for 20 years. Do not ever confuse the two. Something changed in me that day. I stopped being embarrassed by my dad. I started actually seeing him. I noticed the small ways he took care of us that I had always ignored. The way he warmed up the car for my mom on cold mornings. The way he remembered every little thing I mentioned in passing. The way he was, without fail, the steadiest presence in every room he entered. He had been a hero the whole time. I had just been looking for the wrong kind. That fall, I asked him to teach me things, how to check the oil in a car, how to fix a leaky faucet, how to balance a checkbook even. And as we worked side by side in that same garage where I found the box, he started telling me stories, not about the fires, about Ray, about the man who gave him the life he had, the life that eventually included me. I realized I owed my existence, in a strange way, to a firefighter I would never meet. We found Ray's daughter years later. She was grown by then, with kids of her own. My dad had quietly sent her family money every year on the anniversary of the fire, anonymously, for 2 decades. When we finally met her, she cried, and she told my dad that her father would have been proud of the man he became. And my dad, the strongest, steadiest man I know, cried too. It was the first time I had ever seen him let it out. I am older now, and I understand things I could not understand at 15. I understand that the people who love us the most are often the ones who make the least noise about it. I understand that behind every quiet, ordinary parent, there might be a whole life you know nothing about, full of sacrifices made silently, just so you could have the childhood you had. I understand that boring sometimes is just another word for dependable, and dependable is a kind of love. My dad still wears that brown jacket every fall. He still falls asleep in his chair by 9. He still checks every lock twice before bed. But now, when I see him do these things, I do not see a boring man. I see a firefighter who made a promise and kept it, one quiet day at a time, for longer than I have been alive. He is the bravest person I have ever known, and it took a dusty shoebox for me to finally see it. So here is what I want to leave you with. If you have a parent who seems ordinary, who seems boring, who is just always there in the background of your life, I want you to look a little closer. Ask them about their life before you. You might be shocked by what they have lived through, what they have survived, what they gave up so that you could be here. The quietest people are almost never as simple as they seem. And if you are lucky enough to still have that steady, present parent in your life, do not wait until you find a shoebox to appreciate them. Tell them today. Ask them their stories. Let them know you see the ordinary, everyday ways they show up for you. Because one day, that quiet steadiness is the thing you will miss the most. Trust me on that. Thank you so much for spending your time with me and listening to this story all the way to the end. It truly means the world. If it moved you or made you think about someone in your own family, please give this video a like and subscribe to AU Family Channel, where we share a brand new story every single week. And do me one favor tonight. Go hug your dad. I will see you in the next one.